Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Algebra 1. I hope you had a good, productive Monday and that your Tuesday is off to a good start as well. Today, we are going to continue our lesson on using quadratic equations to solve real-world problems. We are going to look at a different way problems might be asked and how, in reality, this is just a little bit of an extension of what we already did. So we are going to work two example problems together, and then you will have the rest of class to work the other two on your own. As a reminder, these are performance assignments, so please be sure you are taking them seriously and you are doing your best to follow along and work the problems. All right, let's go ahead and let's dive in. We are going to start with problem number 1 on your sheet. Here's what we are told. The owner of a video dispensing machine called Purple Box has determined that the cost C in dollars of operating the machine is approximately given by the equation C of x equals 2x to the second minus 30x plus 730, where x is the number of videos rented daily. X is the number of videos rented daily. Our job is to find the lowest cost to the nearest dollar. The lowest cost to the nearest dollar. Okay, so let's start just by identifying our variables again. We had X and we had C. The first thing I see when I'm reading is that the cost is going to be measured by C, and that X is the number of videos. And our goal is to find the lowest cost. Now, if we remember, quadratic graphs usually take one of two forms. And we notice is that our lowest cost, or if we were looking for the highest cost, our lowest cost happens at the vertex, our vertexes. So our strategy, just like yesterday, our strategy is to use x equals negative b over 2a to find the vertex, and then we'll go from there. So let's look at our equation. 2x squared minus 30x plus 730. We always start by identifying our A value, our B value, and our C value. If you look back at last class's notes, we noticed that our A is the number in front of our x squared. So A is 2. B is our number in front of the x, negative 30. And C is our number at the end, 730. Now that we have our A, B, and C, let's plug it into our equation. X equals negative B over 2A. Plugging in our values, we're going to get negative 30 over 1 negative from the equation, 1 negative from the number, over 2 times 2. Up in the top, we have two negatives here. Negative is going to give me a positive. We're going to have positive 30 over 2 times 2 would be 4. Plugging into our calculator, 30 divided by 4, it's going to give me 7.5. So for our problem, My X is 7.5. Looking back, what does X represent for us? X represents the number of videos. However, we are looking for cost. So we need to do some extra steps. We have X, but we need C. Luckily for us, we had an equation for C, big C. C equals 2x squared minus 30x plus 730. So the way we can find C is by taking our X value and plugging it into the equation. That would look something kind of like this. C equals 2 times 7.5 squared minus 30 times 7.5 plus 730. Now, I don't know about you, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do all that. So here's the good news. You get to this step, type it into your calculator. 2 parentheses, 7.5 parentheses. To do the squared, you're going to hit this button right here, squared, minus 30 parentheses 7.5 plus 730. You can type that all into your calculator at once. Don't need to do any middle steps. We'll just let the calculator crunch the math and go from there. Hit equal. And it's going to give you cost equals 617.5. Okay. Notice it says the cost to the nearest dollar. So we got to look at this number here. If this number is 5 and over, we're going to round up. If it's less than 5, we round down. Our number is 5, so we are going to round 617 to 618. Now that we know our C, all that's left is to make sure we write a sentence. We can say the lowest cost is $618. Okay. So this one was a little bit longer, wasn't it? There's a little bit more to do, a little bit more stuff going on. But in reality, it's just a tiny little extension of what we already learned. At this point, go ahead and pause the video and finish writing down what you need to. Okay. Let's move on to our next example. The next example we're going to be working is problem number 3. Here's what we're told for problem number 3. The manufacturer of a waterproof phone case has found that the revenue, R, in dollars per month, is given by the equation R of X equals negative 4X squared plus 1,320X, where the unit price is X dollars. If we want to set the price to maximize revenue, what is the maximum revenue per month to the nearest dollar, to the nearest whole dollar? So this is a very common question that you're going to deal with if you're a manufacturing company. As you make an item more and more highly priced, less and less people are going to buy it. So in reality, you might get less profits if your item costs more. So the game manufacturers have to play is how highly am I going to price my item so that the most number of people will buy it? We want to find that perfect middle point where people are like, yeah, that's worth it. I'd pay that. And you're not really losing any people because it's too high of a cost. If we're thinking about like video games, something I know well, that price point is about $70. You charge more than $70 for a game, people start to get a little antsy, right? $70 is the price that'll let you get the most amount of money usually for your game without turning anyone away. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Let's move into the problem. Always start by identifying our variables and what they're measuring. X and R. We know R is revenue, so that's the money you're going to take in. R is revenue. And X is the price. The price in dollars, of course. Okay. Our goal is to find the maximum revenue. And just like before, our strategy is the same. Our strategy is the same. Find your vertex and then go from there using x equals negative b over 2a. All right. Let's move into our problem. We're given the equation negative 4x squared plus 1,320x. Let's identify our A, our B, and our C. My A, as always, is the number in front of the x squared. So in this case, my A value is negative 4. My B is the number in front of my x. So B is 1,320. And my C value is anything that comes after the x. Do we have anything there? Doesn't look like it. So in this case, our C is 0. It's not going to affect our calculations too much, but it will, but it's important to know. Let's look at our formula. X equals negative B over 2A. Plugging in, we're going to get negative 1320 over 2 times negative 4. We don't have anything super complex, so let's not go to the calculator just yet. That negative 1320 can stay on the top. And then 2 times negative 4 is going to give you negative 8. At this point, I don't want to do that division by hand, so let's plug it in. Negative 1320 divided by negative 8. Remember, when you're putting in negatives, I want you to use this key right here. Otherwise, your calculator's not going to be happy with you. Plug that in, hit equal, and my calculator gives me x equals $165. Okay. Let's look back at our problem. We were looking for the maximum revenue per month. We found the maximum price. We found our price. We haven't found revenue just yet. So let's go ahead and let's find our revenue by taking our equation. R equals negative 4x squared plus 1,320x. And let's plug in our number, 165. Plug in that number for x. And we're going to get R equals negative 4 times 165 squared plus 1,320 times 165. Let's plug that into the calculator. Negative 4 times 165 squared plus 1,320 times 165. Plug those in, hit your equal. It's going to give you 108,900. Okay. Now we have found our revenue. We found what we're looking for. So let's just go back and let's write a little sentence about it. The max revenue is $108,900. And then notice it says per month. And the company knows that they can hit this revenue if they sell the phone cases for $165. I don't know about you, but that seems like a bum deal. It's a lot of money for a phone case. Okay, that is all the examples we're going to work for today. You have hopefully about 40 minutes left in class. What I would like you to do for the last 40 minutes are work the last two problems on this page. And then I would like you to begin working on your dream box. Again, both of these are performance assignments, so please make sure you are giving them your best effort. When you are done, you can either submit a picture on Canvas, or you can leave your paper on my desk and I will grade it when I get back. Please make sure that your name is on the paper. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to finishing our lesson on Thursday.